Welcome to Basic Binges, folks, on the Nom Talk network. And today, we are going to talk about the Mandalorian. We are back for season 3, people. I hope everyone's doing great. Hope everyone's excited because I know I am. I'm your host, Mike Manalo from the Nerds of Color, whattowatch.com, and that's at LA. And as always, I cannot do this thing alone. I need a good crew of amazing individuals here from the Nom Talk network to help me talk through this. Otherwise, I'd just be talking with myself, and I do that all the time, so that's not really fun anymore. It's just gotten old and annoying. But that being said, I am here with two amazing individuals. Mike Lee, my co-writer and helper from not helper, sorry, that's a terrible way to say it. My co That's so bad. God damn. We're off to a good start, guys. No. Mike Lee, my colleague from the Nerds of Color. There. I talk words good now. But anyways, Mike Lee, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am going to use words for this. So, I'm Michael Lee from the Nerds of Color. That's at LA, and we live entertainment. So you can catch all my stuff over there. And yeah, that's all. That's all I have to say with all my words that are available to me.
That's what I need to learn. I need to learn restraint when it comes to talking. Anyway, I think that's why Stephanie has me practice with a couple more people on the group so that, you know, I could shut up and they can talk. Puma, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So I'm not really that exciting, so I don't really know what to say. But I'm PumaDoesCosplay, and I model, I cosplay, like all things horror and Star Wars and all the things that are good. So I'm excited to be here. I love being on Nom Talk. I love talking about all our favorite shows and movies. So very excited, especially for this episode, actually, because it's amazing.
Puma's completely downplaying herself. She is one of the most exciting.
I was gonna say, I mean, you cosplay, that's amazing in itself because
it's so much fun.
I know that time and effort it makes to go into this costumes because I went to Star Wars Land, and I really it's just like when I bought my what was that, my Bodhi Rook like jumpsuit and everything. It's like, oh my gosh, it takes a lot of effort to put something together.
It's a lot of stress. So we like to stress ourselves out.
Yeah, like Mike said, you're downplaying everything. You guys are amazing.
Downplaying everything. And we gotta get a shot of you in the Bodhi Rook outfit, Mike Lee, and send it to Riz.
Well, okay, we'll pull that up later.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We'll find that later next week, probably.
I mean, honestly, guys, if Puma does Grogu, if you do Bodhi, and if I do Mando, we could get like a little Star Wars thing.
Let's go. I'm down.
Yeah,
let's go.
Just say when.
But we also got some wonderful people in the chat. I see Boba Fett LV here. Hey Boba, how are you? It's always good to see you, and it's always good to talk about Pedro with you, especially in the chat, because I know that you're one of our frequent guests for sorry. I had to stop. It's that cute.
Okay, so this is not going to work as well. I can't do this all the time. Otherwise, you're going to hear me talking like this.
Mike Lee's got a gorgeous looking print, which is amazing. I feel very unspecial because all I'm really rocking right now is like a shirt.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you're
ready.
I will wear my helmet at another point, but whatever. I'm too lazy to get it right now. By the way, because this is Basic Binges, I wanted to see if anyone was noshing or drinking anything. I'm got my ceremonial Coke Zero with me just in case.
Right.
People ask me to hydrate. I've got fuel for that. Puma, what are you noshing on right now?
I'm sipping on some a good old Irish mule right now. So I got some Jameson and some if you haven't had Bundaberg ginger beer, they have diet ginger beer.
I've heard of that before. Yeah.
Bundaberg's the best to make your Irish mules or your Moscow mule or your Moscow mules. That's my favorite brand to use. So
sounds so good right now. I swear I'm super jealous, and I want ginger beer like so badly.
My favorite.
That's awesome. Mike, what about you?
I have some mangoes. I'm going healthy today.
Yes. No, I love mangoes.
And then I have water. I can't see no water, but with
you are really healthy today.
That's what I should be drinking is water. So
yeah.
At least I'm like sitting here sipping this. You're eating mangoes and water. You're drinking Coke Zero, and I'm like, hey guy, hey.
No, come on, that's a Friday night. That is the perfect way to spend.
It's
Friday
I
night,
earned this.
honestly.
It's been a while,
You
so
did.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I would have made those like blue cookies that Grogu ate in
Ooh,
season 2. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I
that would have been
constantly
awesome. We need
burn
to do an
those. And
episode of that on the cooking one, on the cooking show.
That'd
It'd
be
be like a
great.
Star
that'd be
Wars
great.
cooking
That'd
vibe.
be
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. Blue
Blue
macarons.
milk.
blue
Yeah, blue
Yeah.
milk
macarons.
macarons. Oh, that'd be great.
Yes.
And then we gotta have Reese's Pieces with it too, so that Grogu can,
Oh, that was
you know.
so
I
cute.
need,
Oh my
I need
goodness.
to
Right?
learn how to like retrieve it with my mind.
We'll just throw it at you, Mike.
There we go.
We'll just throw it at you.
If anyone's good with
Um,
like After Effects, we could like edit it in and make it work. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I'll wear like a green suit and we'll just like stand there and throw it at you and then just edit me out. Yeah, I think that would work.
Wow.
Yeah. God, guys, we are so nerdy, but I love it. We are. Let's be nerds. Let's talk about this episode and I overall reaction. Like, look, I think everyone's happy that the Mandalorian's back. I'm actually
Oh yeah.
incredibly surprised that some folks are kind of were a little lukewarm about the season premiere. Honestly, I think you know in my opinion, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching it. I was really waiting to see what people would think, and I think because it wasn't like the biggest or flashiest episode,
Mhm.
everyone was kind of like, it's like, it's fine, whatever. But I'm kind of like, why? Why? This is everything. This is everything we love about
Yeah.
Star Wars. So I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'd love to
Yeah.
hear what you guys think, and if you guys have lukewarm feelings about it, not a problem, by the
No,
way. And I
not at
didn't mean
all.
but yeah, I'd love to know what you thought. Mike, I'll start with you. Overall thoughts on the episode.
I particularly enjoyed it. What it was that saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder sort of thing.
Yes.
So I was really missing it, especially after like a lackluster Book of Boba Fett. I was like, I need something like more Star Warsy. We
Yeah.
haven't seen anything because there hasn't been a film since Rise of Skywalker. So I was like, come on, we need something Star Warsy. So I was really happy to see that the Mandalorian came back, and this is a Rick Famuyiwa episode, so it's not particularly like explosive or it's cinematic. There's some restraint, but it's also action packed, and
Yeah.
we saw plenty of that in this one. So I was really happy with what we've gotten so far.
Absolutely. And by the way, speaking of Rick Famuyiwa, there is an amazing interview out there on the internet, you guys, that you guys need to watch. Somebody on this chat right now, that's not me or Puma, was able to chat with Rick Famuyiwa himself.
That's
Definitely check it
awesome.
out on the Nerds of Color YouTube channel. It
Yes.
is a terrific interview, you guys.
So-
And yeah,
I didn't know he was going to bring back a certain character that appears on this. So yeah, I was particularly surprised.
Yeah. He brought back Taika Waititi, right? No, technically yes, but yeah.
Technically, yes. So
Technically,
was
yes.
that really him, or was that just stock like
I think that's stock audio.
stock audio?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was too busy joking around on the Thor set to come record lines.
pretty much, yeah.
I like Love and Thunder. I will defend Love and Thunder, but he was joking.
I'm like,
I think most people are with you, Puma. So I'm in definitely the minority there. But that being said, I'm glad that you liked it, Mike. I'm glad that you even got a little bit more context from Rick when you spoke with him. But it does actually it's very much a Rick Famuyiwa episode. He's a very restrained director, as you kind of mentioned. I think that we get that here, which thank you for sharing that. Puma, overall thoughts on the episode?
I loved it. I was really excited to see Grogu back, and the way that they just kind of like what do you call it? Like they kind of like just made his character and his personality bigger and better than it was in the previous seasons. Like he's so freaking adorable. Like they made him more like infant like, more childlike. So like I was just really digging like all the cute stuff, like him spinning in the chair and
Yes.
getting the candy. Like it was just like, I'm glad they're like making him more of like a personality than just like a cute thing that didn't really say much or do anything.
Yeah.
So I was like all for it. I was like obsessed. I'm like this. I was like the whole time I'm like, oh my god, this is like the cutest episode ever. And I also am really glad that Mando's on the quest for redemption, because that always kind of bothered me. In the previous seasons, like that he didn't really seem to care about like the creed and following what he's supposed to be doing and taking his helmet off. So I was kind of like, that's kind of like so now he's on the quest for redemption. I'm like, okay, you know what? Like Mando, you got okay. So it's gonna be an amazing season, I'm sure. Like just from the first episode, I'm like, this is gonna be great. I love it. I was obsessed.
You nailed it. You nailed
Yeah.
exactly my sentiments exactly too, Puma. Yeah, Mike. Sorry, did you want to add to that?
No. So I was just agreeing with her. It's like, yeah, I agree. So
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I think I was getting, you know, forgive me. I'm gonna get on a soapbox really quickly, and I apologize. And I'd love for you guys to chime in as well because I want to know your thoughts about this. After the episode premiere, people were just like, "That's it. Oh, Mando's lost
Mhm.
its magic,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Y'all, it's been one episode. People
Yeah, it
said
was
it.
one episode.
It's the season premiere.
yeah.
Like, why would they reveal the entire story of this
Exactly.
in the first episode?"
There would be no more episodes.
Yeah, there would be no more episodes, and we are trying to build up this overarching story that's going to be present this entire season.
Mhm.
With introduction, reintroducing a lot of the players that we know and we love, Grief Karga, Bo-Katan. It's all the armorer, the whole, and by the way,
Exactly.
I mean, let's talk about that intro. I mean, the armorer has actually, last time we saw her, the whole like sect of this Mandalorian, sect, was pretty much just her and Paz Vizsla, and that was it. It was just the two of them. And now a little bit of time has passed, and we're actually getting a community growing, which is kind of insane.
Mhm.
I wanted to know what you guys thought about that. This baptism scene, giant crocodiles coming out of the ocean.
That
It
was crazy.
was nuts,
I did
right?
not expect that at all, honestly.
I mean, Puma,
So
thoughts like overall on this opening sequence
Yeah,
before?
I mean, it was literally, that's why, like, when people are like kind of saying like negative stuff or like, oh, that's it. I'm like, did you not see like the opening scene? Like that thing, that was like amazing to just see like the process, because I don't think they ever really showed that previously, like the whole actual like thing that they go through to become Mandalorians. And so yeah, that was just like a lot of action. I really dug that they kind of just like kick that off like that. Like that's a great way to get you kind of excited for what's to come and stuff like that. But yeah, like I just want to see more. I hopefully they kind of like give us more little pieces about kind of like what's been going on in between, and like that whole process of like all the new people that are coming into that, because I'm like, I just love backstories and like the behind the scenes stuff, that because sometimes they kind of just skim over it and don't really go through it and stuff. So that was amazing to me. I don't know how people can't be excited when they see like that as the opening of the episode, and in the middle to all the other stuff that happens. But yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
it's a good opening. It's a strong Star Wars opening, right? I mean,
Yeah, I dug it.
Mike, what about you? Thoughts on the opening sequence?
I have to say, because we don't know much about the Mandalorian culture itself or how they get their helmets, who can wear it, who can take
Exactly.
it off. That I
Hmm.
appreciate it that they have this whole ceremony, and we understand that, you have to abide by this creed. I promise not to do this, I promise not to do that, sort of thing. And it's really a nice way to see this culture that's just been either in dialogue or offset, sort of thing. We never really see it in
Exactly.
action. So this is what I really appreciated of the exploring more of it. So yeah.
You said it better than I could word. Yeah, that exactly that.
No,
No, no. I mean, like,
no, no,
yeah.
but yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. I mean, like, honestly, you both touched on the best aspects of this first scene. In a single scene alone, not only are we getting this context behind their sect of Mandalorian religion, but also we're getting the action and the extremes of, genuine Star Wars creature feature moments, with a freaking Star Cruiser coming in and just pelting the giant gator with torpedoes, and blowing it out of the sky. Although it does beg the question why some of the armored Mandalorians were sticking the bombs on the armored plating of the crocodile and not like throwing it inside the crocodile's mouth and then like blowing it up or something. But
Right?
yeah, I'm kind of like, guys,
I have to
I'm
say
like,
also,
yeah,
trying to like weigh it down or something with the cables, like you guys aren't even like, all of you put together still are not like strong
like,
enough to do it. Like, okay, the
guys,
best warriors in the
no.
galaxy, but they don't
right,
know
but not quite.
physics. Yeah. So
They're still learning. Maybe they're young Mandalorians.
Yeah, they probably are because look, I bet you she went to different towns and she passed out flyers and she was like, "Are you happy with this your sector of Mandalore?" And then they're like, "Oh, I need a god and a religion."
Desperately hiring now.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
yeah. So it's her and Paz Vizsla just going like Mando, Mando, across the galaxy, and then everybody's Anyways, it'd be kind of if that's how. Oh crap. Okay, we got our first Nom Talk point redemption, guys. By the way,
Okay.
our friend Boba Fett is redeeming the word ban, and the word that they want us to not say for I think a good 10 minutes is Grogu. So starting now, we cannot say Grogu. We have to pivot to Baby Yoda, which will piss off everyone from Lucasfilm. But at
honestly, though,
yeah,
Okay.
I always call it Baby Yoda. I know even in the show they mentioned that name, and so it's like his name is so it's like no, his name's Baby Yoda to me.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
you thought you'd punish us, Boba Fett, but we got the last laugh. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no. Okay, so for 5 minutes we can't say Grogu. So we'll just pivot to Baby Yoda. So anyways, so after Din Djarin shoots down that gator, goes and talks to the armorer. He's basically saying, I'm gonna prove you wrong. We're gonna go to Mandalore and we're going to try, and I'm gonna bathe in those waters and get back into this cult, because this religion means everything to me. And the armorer's like, okay, I mean, this is the way. This is how we.
Yeah, really, like, this is the way.
The way, we'll forgive you. So he of course goes and goes back to Navarro, where we catch up with an old friend, Mr. Apollo Creed himself, Grief Karga, Carl Weathers,
High magistrate.
Yes, High Magistrate. High Magistrate Apollo Creed.
He was really feeling that too. He was like,
excuse me,
Magistrate.
I was like, okay.
I only do this job on mushrooms. No, I'm kidding. But no. But what did you guys think of this? Puma, thoughts on meeting Grief Karga again and everything that he's done to change
I was
Navarro.
digging his whole vibe, like the droids holding the back of his like, this guy's bougie. I was like, who gave him money? Like, for real, he was just like peasants. Like, I don't know, his whole vibe was like on another level. I really dig that, him and Mando are in contact again, and the whole pirates coming back, that scene was really cool also. But yeah, like that, seeing him and a whole new light was just like, that was probably one of my favorite parts, was just like, wow, like this is gonna be fun. Like, he was having way too much fun with that new title and just like living it up over there. So I dig it.
And we get an IG-11 shout out, of course, because we got a big statue, which is going to come into play.
I was like,
so
too
cool.
soon. Too soon. Like,
right? Our favorite droid of all time, I think.
Yeah, he was great.
Mike, bringing back Grief and going back to Navarro, how was that for you?
I think that was fun. I mean, like as Puma was saying, he really is owning up to this. Like, I'm the High Magistrate. I brought Navarro back from nothing, and this place was like a desert town. Nobody came here. Now we've got schools, and we've got this, and I've got like a candy bowl in front of my desk. So I deserve all of this. Got a new
office.
Yeah, I got an office overseeing everything. I can give you a land, Mando, just name it, So it's just like, oh my gosh, this guy's rolling, and he just has like, I can just throw land like that, and so
yeah, it was great.
I gotta be honest, I love that he's matured so much as a character, like his moral center. Did you guys feel that way too? Like,
oh yeah. Especially when like the pirates came and he's like, no, it's a school, like you're not doing that at my school, like come to my office, we can have drinks. And they're like, I really dug that he was like kind of, like you said, he's got morals now, and just like, I love that he built a whole like the schooling and stuff like that. So I'm just like, it's gonna be neat to see the dynamic between them now that he's like kind of has this different persona. I hope it stays that way, you know. But yeah, that was really like touching to see him be like, no, like this, yeah, this is my school. He's like, well, what about, you know, like before? And he's like, you know what, like I like that he's kind of just like not really like worried about his past, and he's kind of moving forward and like trying to be a better person. That was like, I love the little hidden like life lessons that they throw in that, like, you know, so that was great.
Actually love that too. Mike, thoughts on his arc, I guess, so far?
So far, I like it. I especially liked how he talks about some other characters, you know, that may have gone missing. So not really
Me?
missing, but you know, they're away now, I guess.
Yeah.
They pulled off that Simpsons thing where like, you know, he's disappeared sort of thing. So yeah.
We
I
need to
really
touch on
appreciate it.
this.
Okay, let's
We
go
need
for
to
it.
touch
Come
on this. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys.
Let's go.
So everybody, let's be honest. Let's just say Cara Dune. That's who we're referring to. Where, you know,
Yes.
Cara Dune was recruited by special forces and is no longer present in the series, as Grief Karga says. But let's be honest. I think a lot of people have definitely used the Poochie reference. You know, Cara Dune died back on the way to her home planet. That's not true, but you know, I mean, obviously. What do you guys think about that? I mean, like, did they really Poochie her? Because I think that they came up with a nice, tasteful way to treat the character in the event that they, you know, they ever want to bring or recast or anything like that, the Cara Dune character. I personally thought it was a viable, you know, option, and it opens the door up for them to bring in a new character to be the Marshal of Navarro. But I mean, what did you guys think of how this was handled? Do you think it was full on Poochie, or do you think it was you know, done pretty well?
I think it was done pretty well. Like I like that they kind of just, they don't overdo stuff when they do things, and when they change things, they kind of just kind of like leave it kind of like a baseline, kind of like, you know, like a neutral kind of a neutral breakup. You know, they don't want drama, and they don't want to like make something like they can't take back and change, since they like to do that so often. So they want to be able to leave it open to them to be able to go back and be like, oh, change the character or something, like you said, like recast or whatever. So I think it was good. I mean, she wasn't really one of my favorites anyways, to be honest.
Yeah.
She won't be missed.
She will not be missed.
She will
like,
not be missed.
Yeah,
it's like, what? Who was Cara Dune again? I'm like, yeah, like no, but who is she? Like nobody's gonna miss her. So I'm kind of glad they did it. Just like they're not probably not gonna ever bring her up ever again.
I mean, shit, Grief Karga doesn't even miss her. He's like, oh yeah, she got recruited. Hey, do you want to be our new marshal? You
yeah,
know?
exactly.
That was
like,
pretty fast.
what?
He moves on fast.
He moves on fast.
No one will remember your name. Yeah, nobody.
Mike,
No
what
statues.
do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about no statues of Cara Dune?
No say.
Yeah,
IG-811 got a statue. Okay, so
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna
Right?
be like, that's how much we like you, Cara Dune. We gave a statue to the guy that directed Thor: Love and Thunder, and you're not gonna get shit. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, they did the best they could with what they were given, and you know, they wanted to handle the character as respectfully as possible without, you know, ruffling any feathers. And I guess you can't do a Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle sort of thing. So
I mean, couldn't you? I suppose. Like, what if you got
I-
someone like Lucy Lawless, who's awesome, or somebody else to play Cara Dune? You know, I mean, like,
I
if you
wouldn't
didn't
need,
she
totally-
want to be in a Star Wars?
I think she
Something
wanted to
in
be in
Star
a Star
Wars?
Wars. Yeah,
Okay,
right.
She wanted to be in a Star Wars.
She wanted to be in a Star Wars. Put her in a
Like
Star Wars.
I know she's already cast, but like, or no, she's not. Was she? I think she was in Star Wars, but Katie O'Brien like is my favorite like
Oh,
buff lady. Like she would have
yes.
been good as Cara Dune also, but
Maybe she will be. We don't
Maybe
know
she
who
will,
she's playing
because-
this season.
Yeah.
she's my favorite. So hopefully
She'll come in
that'll
and
be
she'll be
so amazing.
She
if
could
just
be a
recast her,
comms
like-
officer again, but this time with a name instead of just comms officer.
Exactly,
Just
exactly.
comms officer.
Yeah.
Comms Officer Dune, you know, this time. So
Yeah.
My
That'd be
sister.
Yeah, I'm her sister. I'm her cousin. Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
that would be so funny. We do have a couple of things from Boba Fett, who says, this sounds dumb to dislike, but I was like, why do the pirates need to actually look like pirates? Valid
It's
point.
Star Wars. What else would they look like?
It's Star Wars, but it's also Disney, and they're not moving forward with the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie, so they have to use those costumes somewhere.
Exactly.
And
They're trying to get
you
their
know,
money. So
they're trying to get their
Now I want
money.
to see a Margot Robbie Pirates of the
No.
Caribbean in a Star Wars thing.
no,
Oh,
please
God.
no.
the best mashup ever. Star
Ah,
Wars of the Caribbean. Actually, that
wow.
makes no sense, but
That's a good
still,
name. That's what we should call it. Star Wars of the Caribbean. That's
Mando of
great.
the Caribbean. There you go.
Mando of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then Boba Fett also said, I still picture him, Grief Karga, with a wooden hand, to be honest, which is an amazing
Oh my
Happy Gilmore
god!
reference.
And there was an
They missed
alligator
their
in the first
chance.
episode, in the,
They
the
missed
first
their
few
chance
minutes.
to do that.
Oh my god, it would have been so good if he's like walking with Mando and he's like, let's go get a drink in my office, and then the fucking giant alligator just comes up in the middle of the town square just to bite his hand off and then goes back down,
And
and
then that's
that would
it.
that'd be
See,
amazing.
No one even
if he
talks
had
about
the
it.
Razor Crest still, and then they
Yeah.
went in, it's like, what's that? It's like, oh, that's an alligator head that I just slayed.
Right. Hanging on his office.
Somebody needs to do that. Somebody needs to do a deep fake of the Happy Gilmore scene where he's wrestling the alligator for Chubbs's hand, but
Yes.
it's Mando instead of Adam Sandler.
Oh
Like,
my.
God, we are just mashing up
Get on
Mando.
it. Who knows how to do that? Somebody get on it right now.
Yes, we need to
And
do
then
that.
instead of Lincoln, you could do a Palpatine
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yes.
And then that person can do the video of me throwing like candy at Mike so that it looks like he's using the force to. Why not? We have them on retainer.
Horrible editing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Mando is there. A very cool scene, of course, with the gunfight and the pirates. He just takes them all down,
Yeah, that was bad. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So freaking badass.
Effortlessly.
Right? I love the
It's
Western
another-
vibe of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
another
but-
restraint sort of thing, because that thing was like really, it felt long at the same time, but it's like that whole Mexican standoff vibe, basically.
Mhm.
It was really awesome.
I've
So,
seen that a lot in movies lately. For some reason, they've been going back to a lot of like Western like tones to stuff, which is always great. Like it's always perfect, but it's like seen a lot of movies be get into that lately, which is like wow.
It's really a good way to build tension, you know?
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
on the edge of your seat and you know something's gonna go down. And Grief Karga, like a badass, is standing there. He's like,
He's
you think
like,
I've got
he's ready.
soft? Try me. Yeah. I was like,
Right.
so cool. But you know, of course, no one's a quicker draw than Din Djarin, and he's just like bam, 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 which is awesome. By the way, I think and I forgot the character's name, the head pirate, the one that lives with the spikes on his
Oh.
face. I
Yeah.
didn't catch his name, I forgot it, but I
forgot too.
believe that's the same species as Hondo Onaka, who a lot of folks who have visited Galaxy.
that's why I was like, wait, he looks so familiar.
Oh, is it the same
Yeah,
person?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's he's
yes.
the same species. There's a
I'm
couple of
Googling it.
like fun Easter eggs. With the pirates, there's a Trandoshan, which is the same species as Bosk, the lizard people, the Trandoshans, and then of course the spiky face guy, which again, I'm sorry, Star Wars fans, don't crucify me. I don't know Hondo's species, but this guy is, I think, the same species. So does that
Spiky
hint?
pirate guy's name is Vane.
Vane, that's right. Okay. I
had
don't
to
know
look
how
it up.
I didn't know how I didn't remember that because he was
Yeah,
super
Vane.
vain.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I
But
had to look it up. I was like, what is his name? Because I don't even think I caught it at all either.
it does make me wonder if we might get a Hondo Inaka appearance though, which would be kind of cool if we.
I
if we
mean,
ever did.
that would be cool. If any of you have been onto what was that? The Smuggler's Run?
Yeah.
That thing
Oh.
looks amazing, honestly. So
Yeah.
the animatronics on that.
Does it's really well done animatronics wearing Jack Sparrow kind of clothing. So I guess again they really are getting their money's worth from the
They
pirates.
really are. They're repurposing. They're like, you know what?
That's what space pirates do. They basically
Yeah.
just they look like Pirates
Keeping
of the
the
Caribbean.
planet, it's like a eco-friendly, repurposing the clothing, thrifting
Yep.
kind of situation.
Mando's going to the planet Tortuga next to get the the Black Pearl.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's anyways.
And he's reviving Zol Saldana's character. So there we go.
Boba
Wow.
Fett is truly diabolical because they just redeemed talk in third person. And for
Oh.
those of you guys who don't know what talk in third person is,
Oh,
for the next 5 minutes, we have to talk like The Rock, basically. You have to be like, the Mike Lee says, and I have to go, the Mike
Oh my
Manalo
goodness.
thinks, blah, 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 blah. So,
Wow.
yeah, they are truly abusing their dark gifts to get us to do crazy shit.
Wow. Okay.
So, Mike thinks that the next scenes following the reunion of Grief Karga and Din Djarin and the taking out of the pirates was a very interesting scene because we find out that Din Djarin is there on business, technically, because he wants a droid that he can trust to kind of escort him into the potentially treacherous formerly inhabitable planet of Mandalore, which, as we know from previous episodes during the Great Purge, it was deemed uninhabitable, potentially radioactive, turned into a crater. So Mike would like to know what you guys thought of the plan to get IG-11 back on commission, the reveal of the missing statue, like 3/4 of a statue left, and then the really cool, what Mike likes to call the Terminator sequence of IG-11 getting switched on and then attacking them with no body, just like
that was creepy. I was like, I don't like it.
Very, yeah, right. I mean, Puma in third person. What do you think?
So Puma thought that seeing IG-11 revert back to factory settings was like super random, because it's like, yeah, usually they're really good at kind of fixing everything in the Star Wars land. I don't think I've ever seen anything go kind of like Puma hasn't seen anything go like awry, like in that sense. So it was just kind of neat to see like this creepy and he's like, shoot it, like he's like, just shoot it, and he throws it. He's like, what did he say? The line that he said was so clever. He was like, that's the way to put your head into it or something.
Yeah, something like
that's a good way to use your head. I was like, stop. Like, now he's doing dad jokes in Mandalorian, and I'm like,
he's a daddy. He's a daddy. Yeah. So
Mike didn't even put that connection together.
Yeah, I was like, now it's full circle. I'm like, all right.
Fully become a dad. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Love that. Loved it. But you thought it was creepy?
Oh yeah, it was just really creepy, because I'm like, okay, like this is supposed to be for one, it sucked because he was such an amazing droid. You're like, you loved him, you like fell in love with him, he risked his life, everything. And then you just see this like creepy thing on the floor, and you're like, wow, like I really wanted to be excited that they were gonna like piece him back together. I was like, that's kind of neat. I never would have thought to piece back the statue back, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it was just crazy seeing that. And I'm like, okay, now they have to shoot him. Now they have to figure out how to like repair this part of him. Hopefully they can figure it out. And then the people that they have trying to fix him, I'm like, that was like, it's not Babu Frick, but it was adorable. Like, no, who are those little creatures?
Yeah, that Mike agrees with you 100%. Other Mike Lee. What is Mike Lee's thoughts on the IG-11 scenes and the Terminator references, all of that?
Michael Lee says that Puma pretty much said everything that Michael Lee would have said anyways. So Michael Lee is pretty much doesn't know what else to add. So
this is such a bad point system. Mike is just going to put that out there. That's not going to change anyone's mind about like taking it off. We're clear, by the way, so we can finally go back to
okay.
Oh yay, thank you.
Yeah, it's not going to change anyone's mind, because the more that we protest, the more people are totally going to want to do this. So
exactly,
all right,
like,
guys.
we love this. Keep going.
We do it for you. We
reverse psychology.
Do it for you. We make asses of ourselves. That's what I have to tell myself to make myself feel better about just being an ass in general. But yeah, we're gonna make our asses of ourselves for your entertainment for sure. But that being said, yeah, exactly. But that being said, yeah. So IG-11, of course, gets his head smashed, and in the clever way that the dad joke way that Puma pointed out, very well pointed. I didn't even connect that. And they have to take it to the Anzelians, the Babu Frick race, as you guys, as we all know. And I thought this was some of the funniest like sight gags in Mandalorian history.
It was like, so freaking adorable.
Sitting in that little tiny like cubby hole, like just
like, it's broken. And I'm like, oh my gosh, stop.
He broken, and then they say it's broken. It's like, yes, I heard.
Like, oh my god.
And then
Grogu. We're done with Grogu, right? We can say Grogu now, right?
Yeah, I think
We're saying
there.
Grogu,
We
yeah.
could say
Yeah.
Grogu now, yeah.
And then Grogu like trying to get to him. He's like, no. And he's like,
He had a Lenny
Oh,
moment. I was like, no, don't shoot. Then he's gonna like crush it, like, oh, don't do anything.
I was like, stop. I could not get enough of Grogu in this episode. That was like anything, whatever else happened. Like he stole the first episode by like just being absolutely freaking adorable the entire time.
Right? I mean, like, even after he picked up the thing, which was like so funny, I think what made it funnier was he was going to go for it again. He was like, no.
Yeah.
Which is a typical baby thing. He's
Yeah.
like, do it.
It
And
was
then
so
no.
cute. It was so
Oh
adorable.
my god, yeah. I mean, did you guys feel good just getting to see, like, look, Rise of Skywalker, I'm gonna admit, it's not my favorite Star Wars movie. I think it might
Yeah.
actually be my least favorite. But I think the best thing that everyone took away from that is the Babu Frick and the Anzelian race. And just getting to see these characters. I mean, did that make you guys feel all warm and gooey? Just getting to see them, like Mike Lee.
Seeing all of them. That was really neat too. Seeing that,
Yeah.
you know, they're still there. They're still doing what they do best, and it's just like it's going to be interesting. I hope they kind of like show a little bit more of them in the series, because yeah, that was just adorable. I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, this is hilarious and adorable. So I'm all for it. I want to see more.
Me too. Mike, what did you think?
I mean, I just want to see if Grogu, I'll say Grogu now, Grogu is actually understands how to handle animals responsibly or not.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I'm gonna say no to that.
He's never seen anything like that before, so he's
I know,
probably just like
right?
it's a toy or something, or
Even his
yeah.
history with frogs, though. He
Exactly.
really has
I was thinking he
bad-
was gonna try to eat that one. So
Yeah, never.
It's probably-
I don't think he's a pet's kid. I don't think
No.
Din Djarin
He gets a
can get-
hamster, maybe a hamster. That's it.
That
Not a
hamster's
cat,
going
a
to.
dog.
I was just waiting for like let the rabbit go, Lenny, or something like
God, it was so cute.
Was that in the Mice and Men reference?
Yeah, that's a Mice and Men reference.
Oh, that's
Because that's
awesome.
all I imagine when he was like holding him, like, you know, and one of the Anzelians was trying to escape. It's like it's a Lenny moment, but I feel so bad.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, but George, I have to. I love it, George. Yeah, that would be funny as hell. I don't know when it comes to frog eggs, when it comes to frogs, when it comes to Anzelians. This
Did
kid
he eat a
Kitties.
spider too?
spider, yeah, this kid cannot be trusted with any creatures because it's just going to, like, if he was in Harry Potter class and there was a care of magical creatures class, all those magical creatures should fear for their goddamn lives because
Yes.
Grogu is just going to either eat
Eat
all
of them.
the worst.
We could just
God.
end what is that Fantastic Beast on a number 4 with just having Grogu there, and then he'll eat all the Fantastic Beasts in
That
that
would be
little case that he has, and then like
The crossover. That would be the best crossover ever.
That would literally be the best Fantastic
Newt
Beasts
finds
movie.
it. Oh, I'm gonna put this in my case, and then he opens it again. It's like, how come it's all empty all of a sudden?
It's Fantastic Beasts and where to find that. We can't find them anymore because they're all dead. You know,
Oh
they're all
my
they're
gosh.
just dead now. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Grogu, for killing all the creatures. Yeah, no, it's adorable to see him shake down Anzelians, but I feel bad for the Anzelians.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for Din because that's a handful. He's gotta. But,
He's like, I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh my
it's so you know from there. I kind of love these quieter moments because after they leave Navarro, they're navigating towards where Mandalore is. But not before, of course, getting attacked by Bane and you know his squad, including you know the head captain, the pirate captain, who kind of looked like Swamp Thing, which was kind of awesome.
Mhm.
I've never seen a
Yeah.
character like that before. But when
That was creepy.
yeah, right. I mean, like just the makeup job was brilliant. But by the way, I don't think enough can be stated about how awesome it is that Favreau and Filoni are committing to practical effects here for the most part.
Yes.
You know, I
I
mean,
love practical effects.
Right? When it came to this entire series, I thought to myself at least 3 times in this episode, this is goddamn Star Wars. This is what
Yes.
Star Wars is supposed to be.
Thank
Whether
you.
it's the Babu Frick scene with all of these animatronics practical animatronics just like walking around, whether it's the makeup effects on these things, or whether it's even just, and I know that this isn't practical, but the space battle with Din Djarin and the Star Cruiser just shooting down these guys. I was like, how is this not goddamn Star Wars? How are people not embracing and enjoying this? Because it's the most Star Wars thing that we've gotten in a while. And no disrespect, because I love Andor. It's such a goddamn good series, and I love that it is kind of a departure from the average Star Wars formula. But if you want classic Star Wars formula, this is how you do it, guys. I love that's why I love that battle. What did you guys think of the battle? I'm geeking out way too much for it. Thoughts on that entire scene?
I mentioned in my tweet that this is bringing back the dogfights, because we haven't seen any we haven't seen too much dogfighting in the Mandalorian. So when I saw that, how he's zipping by, doing these old maneuvers, hiding and everything like that, that's like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been missing since the cinematics, theatrical Star Wars stuff.
Since Top Gun Maverick, right? No, I'm no, I'm kidding. Sorry, continue, Mike.
No, that's all I had to say about that so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Puma, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of practical effects. That's why I'm like obsessed with like the 80s and everything like that. But that's the one thing that I really didn't like about like the prequels, was all the CGI. I think it was unnecessary, especially seeing as like the original trilogy didn't have all of that going on. I'm like, if they can do it in the 70s and 80s, y'all can keep the practical effects going. It's cheaper probably actually to do practical effects. So it's always weird to me when they overuse CGI. But yeah, so seeing that kind of gave me like a little bit of hope. I'm like, okay, I hope they keep it going. Maybe they're listening to the fans. Maybe I don't even know who was working on that. I wonder what if like Legacy was working with them, or who did the special effects for that. But I want to see more of that definitely in this season, hopefully, because it gives it a whole different feeling. And I think hopefully I at least appreciate things more when I see, like you said, the practical effects. It's just like it makes it a little bit more like, it feels better to know that there's more work in it, and CGI really takes away from like the scene, because it's just like there's just too much going on and you're just like So yeah, I really hope that they continue that and they keep doing the repurposing of the pirate characters and all the weird creatures that they were probably going to use for pirates.
I love that too. It's gotta, so my theory, not theory, but my guess is, my assumption, I should say, better word. My assumption is that it's got to be the geniuses at ILM that are kind of handling this, because you'd want to keep Star Wars close to the family, basically, right? Like the ILM team, they know how to do digital effects, the practical effects, and everything like that. And there's no one better in this industry. And you're 100% right, Puma. I agree with you. Like, CGI, there's nothing wrong with CGI if it's done well. We've seen throughout this series the great use of the volume that they're filming on, with the backgrounds and everything like that, looking so magnificently animated and brilliant. But at the same time, when you sort of neglect practical effects, Star Wars sort of loses its charm, I think. And more than that, you also kind of, in a way, you put out you tend to threaten two different types of effects industries. Visual effects, the overuse of them, and the overworking of a lot of these visual effects firms that are already working on 50 Marvel projects at the same time as now Mandalorian, and then even like DC movies and everything else in the industry. And then you neglect older methods of special effects, with practical effects, putting down puppetry and puppet industry, standards and everything like that. You end up retiring them because everyone's kind of overusing CG. So the fact that you're blending both them nicely here means we get more variety in terms of what we see. It feels closer to us, and it looks fucking spectacular.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I've been cursing way too much on this one. Sorry, you guys.
Usually it's me, so I feel good about myself today.
I've been watching a lot of Guillermo del Toro interviews, and the dude just drops F-bombs every 5 seconds, which I love. Yeah. It's so enthusiastic, but I think I got, anyways. And Nom Talk, Stephanie, thank you for this. Fact checked update check update, it was ILM. So awesome.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome.
Great to know they're still the best in the business. So Mando easily dispatches of the pirates and Vane and his squad. He basically guns it in his faster than he can do anything with Star Cruiser. And
12 parsecs.
yeah, I love it. And he ends up arriving on a planet. And again, forgive me, guys. It's a planet that's an offshoot of Mandalore, where he sees a Mandalorian palace. I do want to touch on rewind just a little bit and touch on something that I thought was really sweet as he's making his journey there, which is that Grogu kind of curls up to him on his lap, and he's like,
Oh, yeah.
being a dad, he's like, it takes more than just shooting people and killing people to be a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You have to know how to navigate the stars and know where to go. He's pointing him and he's showing them how to use the ship, and I think that that's actually really lovely, really sweet, because this relationship between them is just this paternal instinct that he has now, complete with dad jokes, right?
Yeah.
To point out.
Exactly.
It takes over, and we end up loving that. We end up seeing that, and I honestly think that Grogu is absorbing it and taking it all in and kind of learning from Din Djarin in a way that he really couldn't give a crap about with Luke Skywalker. So I like that a lot. So yeah, what do you guys think of the daddy instincts of Din Djarin and that relationship with Grogu so far? Thoughts?
I would just say it just shows sign of his maturity so far, because he wanted to collect on a bounty, and now he's trying to protect this kid at all costs. And now it's become much more than that. There's more of a familial bond. So yeah.
Yep, I love it.
Very
And then
cool.
yeah, definitely I totally agree. Like I really love seeing the chemistry between both of them grew. Like I wish at some point they kind of show what happened in between. You know what I mean? Like just that little portion in between, or however long it's been. But yeah, like seeing Grogu kind of like learning how to be a kid, like he's actually having the chance to do like kid things now.
We do get some Bo-Katan in this episode because
Mhm.
Din Djarin arrives on this planet that's an offshoot of Mandalore, and he visits a very familiar face, not just to us Mandalorian fans, but to everyone who's loved this character since Clone Wars and since Rebels, and has really tracked that journey from her, reclaiming the dark saber and then losing the dark saber and reclaiming it again and then losing it again. Really bad at keeping the dark saber, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, yeah, but she's kind of sitting on a throne, and Din Djarin's like, hey, I'm here to join up with you because I don't have people anymore and I really could use your help. And she's like, there's nothing to join, dude. Everybody just cut and run, because I lost the dark saber for an 11th time, and now I have nobody. And your stupid cult, by the way, didn't help or give a crap about Mandalore, which I will say there's actually some fact behind that. They weren't there for this planet when the Great Purge happened or anything like that happened. So she's really bitter. She's taking it out on Din a little bit unfairly in a way, but understandably so. And he's like, well, you know what? That's fine. If you don't want to come with me, I'm still going. And I'm going to prove to everyone without a shadow of a doubt that this planet that we loved, even though I've never been on it, is not poisoned. Yeah, it's not poisoned, and that everyone's wrong. And I'm that determined to get back in my guild. And then end scene, end episode. That's where we kind of take off. I mean, Bo-Katan, thoughts and feelings on her at the end of this episode. Do we think that she's completely justified feeling this way? Do we think that Din, she has a point, and she deserves to be a little bit mad at Din or maybe his sect? Puma, I'll start with you. Thoughts on all of that?
I mean, I feel a little 50-50 on that, because it's like I do feel like she definitely has a reason to have some resentment and be a little upset, but it's like she knows that she's gonna have to work together with them at some point. Like there's not, you know what I mean? There's not that many people around anymore, so it's like you're gonna have to kind of keep at least like civil with each other and help each other where you can. So I kind of was like, I get it to an extent, but it's like you can't really like, you know, the way the world is, your world is right now, you can't really be, you don't need more enemies, you need more like people that are going to be allies and help you. So that was kind of like, I was kind of torn. I was like, you know what, half of me is like good for her, but then half of me is like, you know what, like literally you're gonna have to be friends and probably need his help at some point. So it's just like she did probably what I would have done, honestly. Like that's probably everybody's reaction that they would have did initially, unless you really sit and kind of thoroughly think stuff over before you do things. But I'm more
Right.
like impulsive, so I probably would have felt the same way, honestly, and been like, you know what. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see how the dynamic proceeds through the season. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And you touch on a really good point, because you're right. I mean, why make enemies at this juncture? It's interesting because the way that this episode starts out, it's almost bookended by two very poignant things. You have a sect of Mandalore, a point of view of the Mandalorian religion, um, from a group that started out with no one and is starting to slowly grow. And then you end it with a point of view of this religion, where everyone's gone. Everyone has completely deserted it. So it's kind of interesting that they started and ended this episode alluding to two points of view of the Mandalorian religion, where one is kind of thriving and the other one is slowly dying, and where Din is in all of this is just literally in the middle, So I found that was very interesting, and you're 100% right. Bo-Katan has to make a choice here because she's not doing too good right now.
No.
And if she does, I don't know, swallow her pride or keep fighting for what she may like the armorer did, maybe she might start to see her point of view with Mandalorian religion thrive. Mike, what's your assessment on Bo-Katan and the ending here?
I'll try to add some more stuff because you guys said it pretty well, but
Yeah.
Din came, and you mentioned this, how this was bookended. Din came to, the sect's help, and then the sect kind of rejected him. You got to do this in order to be redeemed. And then Din came asking for Bo-Katan's help, but almost pretty much ends up getting rejected as well. So he's just getting rejected everywhere around. And I'm like, this is not this guy's
This is not the way.
this is not the way. Come on. He's giving help or he's asking help. This is kind of a sign of humility as well. And it's just hard for him to get the kind of the allies he needs. So I don't know what else to say because he's just constantly getting rejected. But we'll see
Yep.
what happens in this next episode, because it's going to be interesting, basically. Yeah.
There's an end credit scene where he's flying away and he's just like, this religion sucks, and then like flies off. That's it. It's just
I mean, he didn't know, as Puma was saying, because he has Bo-Katan has certainly a right to be mad. He didn't know, the rules about the dark saber, or that, or Moff Gideon even had the lightsaber.
Yeah.
So when he won, it's like, here, I have the lightsaber. Like, wait a minute, there's all these other rules that come. He's like, really? I didn't know this. So
Oh my goodness.
like, I yield. No, that doesn't work. Like, okay, let's rock, paper, scissors this thing. It's like, okay, you can do that.
You have to wonder though, which is, I think, obviously this has always been the point of the series, which is one of my favorite things about it. You have a character that is so devoted to this religion, to all of the rules of the religion, but he's only ever experienced one perspective of this religion. So he's completely blind to all of it, the dark saber, the rules, the rituals, and yet he's still, faithful to it, almost slavishly and blindly so, which is one of the best things about this show and everything that it's saying about blind fanaticism, about religion, the questioning of all of it, and the evolution of a character because of these themes, because of how this religion, when he's so slavishly devoted to it, has failed him. But then when he sort of bucked it, when he's gone against it, whether it's allying with a Jedi, whether it's teaming up with people who remove their helmets, that's always helped him. That's always actually gotten him ahead. So it's, if anything, this episode really sets up those themes beautifully and furthers those themes a lot more. And I think that as this season progresses, we're going to definitely see, first off, a lot more of Bo, I hope. And second of all, a lot more of these, ideals and beliefs that he's held on to so, strongly with full conviction, but without actual knowledge. Hopefully those walls shatter down. So we'll see. But yeah.
A lot of the trailers, from what I remember, it's featured in this one single episode, especially when they fly into that, like you said, the offshoot of Mandalore. We see a lot of. We haven't seen of the. I'm sorry. Here we go. Of the trailers we've seen so far, a lot of the footage in it are in these first 2 episodes, from what I remember. So who knows? There's going to be a pretty big surprises in the other 6. Yeah.
It's a lot of show to go, guys. And that means that we at Basic Binges are just getting started as well. So on that note, any final closing thoughts from either of you guys? Mike Lee, we'll start with you. Any final thoughts for The Mandalorian?
I can't wait, because this is just, like we said, this is just the beginning. If you have all this comedy, humor, and exposition and everything like that, it's going to build up to something really, really fun and exciting, and I can't wait.
Amazing. Mike, where can everyone find you, buddy?
You can find me at That's It LA, We Live Entertainment, and The Nerds of Color. And at my social right there, I am Michael J. Lee.
Awesome. And then Puma, final thoughts on the episode?
I love it. I'm so excited to see where this goes. Without saying too much, it's full of action. Like, I feel like the last season was lacking certain things a little bit in a way, so I feel like they're kind of learning each season, kind of like what everybody's wanting to see. That's why there's more Grogu, stuff like that. Going back to like old characters that they're bringing back. So I'm really, really, really excited to see where this goes. Like, super freaking stoked. It's great. I love it. I don't know what anyone could hate about this series, honestly. Stay tuned for the future.
Well
we'll do
said.
a deep dive in episode 2.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do a deep dive.
And you can find me on all socials. It's PumaDoesCosplay on everything: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of the above. So yeah, come check out my weird, crazy cosplays and random events that I go to sometimes. Yeah.
I think by the way, for everyone who doesn't know, our good friend Puma here was a special guest at the premiere this week. So for her telling you up front that she doesn't live an exciting life, I think we know for a fact.
Come on.
She has
a
hell of an exciting life. She's not boring. She's amazing.
I'll say that.
and we are so incredibly lucky to have her.
And you were there too, sir.
I was there too, but I am far more
good.
boring than anyone else here. But anyways, and I've been your host, Mike Manalo. I've loved this show. I think that this was a great first start. It is table setting, guys, but that's what first episodes of seasons do, is set up stories for the future. So if you're gonna watch this thing and you're gonna tell me that that's not Star Wars, I will fight you. I will fight you. This is as goddamn Star Wars as it gets, and I couldn't be more grateful for it. You could find me on all socials at TidyBullBoy182, and of course you can find my work and Mike Lee's work on thenerdsocolor.org, as well as That's It LA, and for me, whattowatch.com. But until next time, I want to thank you guys for joining you. I want to thank our producer Steph for handling everything behind the scenes. And last but not least, I want to remind you guys that we'll be back here next Friday to talk more Mando, to talk episode 2. And also, you guys can find us on Monday to talk about the next episode of The Last of Us as well. So we hope you guys join us, because we love having you and we think it's just a blast entertaining you guys. Thank you for spending your Friday night with us. Until then,
I had a blast. If you need me back any other weeks, I will return. Just let me know.
Absolutely. Yes, we love you, Puma.
Yes.
This is not the last
so much fun, honestly, with you here.
Trust me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. This is the way. See ya.
Thank you. This is the way.